Beyond the Broom with the NSA, sharing information, innovations, and market trends shaping the commercial cleaning industry. We sweep away the noise to bring you the insights that matter.
All right, we're live. Welcome to the Beyond the Broom podcast. I'm your host, Ryan LeMire, along with my co-host, Debbie Wakefield. How are we doing today, Debbie?
Doing great today, Ryan. Looking very forward to this podcast. We'll dive a little bit into the rise of the robots.
Rise of the robots. That sounds interesting. Sounds a little terrifying. But yeah, it's definitely on the forefront of everyone's mind nowadays. You know, AI, robotics, and automation, continue to evolve. They're already transforming a host of industries, and that includes, the commercial cleaning industry, right?
Yeah, definitely. We're seeing it all the time now, which it is a bit terrifying when you think about every movie that you ever saw that had robots taking over the world. But now it looks like they're just going to take over, adjusting your thermostat and cleaning the floors of the building.
Yeah, agreed. Like I said, it could be frightening. It could be exciting to a number of people. No one really knows how it's going to shape out over the next couple of years, but we know it's coming quick. And we'll talk a little bit about, AI, robotics, automation within the commercial cleaning industry. But just to give a general overview, what are some of the benefits do you feel, of AI, robotics, and everything in between?
Well, I think the main thing is seeing a consistency in the quality of work. Obviously, you train a robot to do something, it's going to continue to do the same thing the same way every day, every time. So you have that. There's sustainability aspects to having, robotic pieces of equipment doing tasks. I think cost is kind of a catch-22. I think there's an initial upfront cost that might be higher, but I think if you break down that cost overall and the time that you're saving with employees being able to be deployed to other tasks and things like that, then maybe the cost saving benefits are pretty high as well.
Yeah, I agree. That seems to be the major hurdle is the upfront costs. And speaking with a number of folks, especially within our industry, it is an investment up front. You were kind of talking about someone did an analysis. They purchased a robot and it kind of broke down. Talk to us a little bit about that story or what you read as far as the breakdown of, paying someone an hourly wage versus what that breaks down to when it comes to automation and robotics.
Yeah, so I was watching, there was a company that created a robot that just cleans bathrooms, and they broke down the price of it. Obviously, you're not buying the robot in this case, you're leasing it, and you're paying a monthly fee, which is really more, even though you have the piece of hardware, it's really like you're paying for the software to be used. But they said if you have this robot and it's in your closet and it comes out, it can open doors, which I thought was so cool. It opens the door and comes out and cleans the bathroom at scheduled times. Essentially, the leasing fee that you pay would break it down to like you're paying $5 an hour for the labor for that robot to clean the bathrooms, which is some serious cost savings.
Yeah, that's a significant reduction. And again, up front, yeah, you're paying quite a bit up front, but over the long term of the technology, it sounds like the ROI is going to be there and it's going to happen fairly quickly. When you're looking at specifically within the commercial cleaning industry, what kinds of AI and automation are being deployed?
Well, we're seeing a lot of things. I mean, one of the obvious, and in fact, people even see it in their homes now, right? With the Roomba and they even have the mop, the robotic mops in your house and everything. So we see those type of equipment on a larger scale that can do floor scrubbing or vacuuming for you, and you map out a plan for it to follow, and it goes through and does that floor cleaning. But we also see it in the sensors that are now available in towel and tissue dispensers and soap dispensers. that can send back data in real time and tell people when the towels need to be changed or the soap needs to be refilled. So that's another AI deployment in our industry. I think it's just so prevalent around us nowadays that maybe people don't even realize how much AI and robotics play a part in our everyday lives now.
Yeah, I agree. And it kind of goes to that point of it's everywhere right now that, and we don't even know it. The first versions of the whole AI with the Chat GPT and the Grok and a whole host of others, everyone's deploying it to improve efficiencies within their business, right? That's the whole point. And we heard the other day, you can talk to your phone if you need some sort of, just to talk to someone. You can literally have a conversation with Chat GPT, change the voice however you want it to sound like, and ask for advice. You can ask for mental and social and all kinds of support, whatever you're looking for. So it's kind of crazy.
It is. It really is. I mean, like I said before, you think back to some of those movies and things that we saw years and years ago, and how, we thought that robots would be taking over the world. And I don't see it as much as a take over the world, but I do see it being integrated into ways that we never even dreamed of. We never even thought about having, a robotic lawnmower at your house. Who would have thought that was Jetson stuff, right? That was the Jetsons that had the flying cars and the robots that did everything for you. So hard to believe that in 2025, we're seeing it everywhere. And I think it's only going to continue to grow. And that AI technology is just going to continue to advance, and we're going to see it more and more and more. And in our industry, I think we're going to see more ways to deploy that AI and robotic technology that are just going to make things even easier for people.
Yeah, I think the hard part's going to be for not so much the younger generation because they've adapted to it pretty quickly, especially with how they've grown up. The kids that are 10, 20, 30 years younger than us at this point. They grew up on social media. They're pretty well versed in technology. Everyone has iPads from kindergarten on. They have access to all kinds of technology. Their friends, you know, that's how they all communicate. Now, you'll never be able to take the human element out of it, especially for some of the older generation. That's kind of what we like is the human element. COVID kind of sped up this whole AI process, I believe, and just kind of made everything a little bit more efficient. But there's always going to be that human element. People want to, have conversations with other folks in person, and I think there's something, that's inspiring about all that. But anyways, we don't need to go down that hole. But I know, and just one more other point, I think it was Elon Musk that said, by the year 2030, everyone's going to have a personalized robot in their home that's going to help out with all the cleaning, doing the dishes, doing the laundry, and emotional support, everything that you can have. That's kind of the futuristic view of what everyone's thinking. Again, we don't know what's
2030
going
is
to come
not
to that.
futuristic. That's 5 years from
Well,
now.
it's 5 years. It comes up quick. So I think that the best thing for folks to do is to get ahead of it, learn it, understand it, and then deploy it, right, as you see fit, especially within your business. If you can streamline the decision-making process and create efficiencies within the business, it makes sense to do, but at what cost does that play into?
Yeah, I do think there's some drawbacks to it, though, right?
Yeah,
There's
what are you hearing or seeing or reading about the challenges, outside of the upfront costs?
Yeah,
Talk a
yeah.
little bit about.
Obviously, the upfront cost, the implementation cost is a factor, but there are other things like I mentioned, I think earlier, the lack of adaptability. You have to program the robot, and the robot does exactly what you would like. Like for a floor scrubber, you map out where you want the floor scrubber to go, and that's where the floor scrubber is going to go. But the floor scrubber is, at least the ones of today, are not going to move trash cans. They're not going to move furniture. They're not going to, they're going to not veer off the path that you've programmed into them. So
Yeah,
if you want them to
there's
do something else, you have to program that in, or you have to have a human element that's going to take care of those kind of
yeah,
things.
exactly. I was just gonna say you're always gonna have that human element, especially with this generation of technology. It's gonna get I think it's going to improve, especially with the quantum physics and all the quantum technology that's going to be deployed over the next couple of years too. I think it's just going to jump from where we're at now to something that we couldn't even imagine. So we just
Quantum
have to stay ahead
physics,
of it, right?
Doc Brown, we're going back to the future.
Yeah, everything comes full circle. You know, the internet when was the internet created back in what the 70s, 80s, and started really rolling out in the late 80s, early 90s. So
Yeah, it is
everything
hard.
comes
Like
full
you said
circle.
too, the younger generation, they don't have any clue of what life was like before
Picking up a phone,
phones
it's
and
a cell phone.
computers and, you know.
Yeah, they have no clue what what a landline is for a house phone. Especially what's the one where you had to circle it? You put your finger in, circle the thing, like dings.
I'm not that old, but I had one of those phones too.
Yeah,
So
I did
the
too.
rotary phone.
Yeah. So it's amazing. Technology is good, but again, it can be scary. But the more knowledgeable you are, the more you work with it, the more comfortable you get with it. I think it'll improve everything.
And I think
Um,
you're going to have more opportunities because as it continues to grow at the lightning speed that it is, as it advances, you're going to have more opportunity because there are going to be more companies offering things. But not only that, the companies that are already in the game are just going to be able to offer more, better, cheaper versions of what they're doing because that's how technology works, right? It continues to improve and get better and faster, but it also gets less expensive as new ways are found to produce the technology and the hardware.
Yeah, and the quality control component there that allows for that real-time verification, reducing the human error factor. So, there's definitely a lot of positives, there's a lot of negatives, but I think at the end of the day, it'll all be net positive for every industry. You know, that's just my thought.
I
But
think
again,
I think it will too. But the other piece of that is I think you have to accept and you have to adapt to it because if you don't, you're going to get left behind. If you're not finding a way, and maybe that's not the case today. Maybe you don't have, the the job site or whatever that really needs that robotic technology, but it's going to become more and more prevalent. They're going to become smaller. They're not going to be big giants anymore. They're going to become smaller, and the adaptability for them in different situations is going to be there. And if you don't get on board, you're going to be left behind because other companies are. You're not going to stop the technology from coming, right? We've seen that in every other industry, right? It's coming, whether you like it or not. So the best thing to do is accept it and adapt to it and start utilizing it for your advantage.
yeah, I agree. And I think just to summarize it, AI, robotics, automation, they'll continue to evolve and are already transforming a host of industries, and that includes the commercial cleaning industry. It's really the automation is used to raise the cleaning standards, cut down on costs, and help mitigate labor shortages. And that's the challenges that all cleaning companies, VSCs, face. So I think, to your point, just stay in front of it, have fun with it, and learn as much as you can.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. We'll stay tuned and see what's coming next.
Yep. And if anyone has any questions, they had to say we do have a host of companies that are deploying autonomous machines, robotic machines, AI, Internet of Things, sensors, and all that. So we can help you get to the best in class from that front. And we're always looking to bring on more partners within that area. So we'll stay ahead of it. We'll do our part, and just let us know if you need anything.
Yeah, and don't forget you can reach Ryan and I by email if you need to. Ryan is Ryan at nansa.org, and I'm Debbie at nansa.org. So feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. or if you need us to direct you to somebody that can give you more information.
Perfect. Sounds good.
All right. Well, that'll wrap us up for this podcast. Can't wait to see what's coming next. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today.
Bye, everybody.
Beyond the broom. Beyond the broom.